Is full of wild wonders, but some of the most mind-blowing creatures out there are the ones that come in giant sizes.
Man, you are a big kangaroo. Oh, those are strong arms. Oh!
From the deepest parts of the ocean to the tallest mountain peaks, nature has created animals so big, so strange, and so powerful, they almost don't seem real. Thanks to cameras and drones, we're able to see these animals up close in ways that were never possible before. And today, we're counting down the top 20 largest animals captured on camera. Number 20, orangutan. Now this next one might just make you look twice. Caught on camera near a remote village, this massive orangutan is so huge, people thought they were seeing Bigfoot. But no, it's one of nature's most powerful primates, and it's very real. Orangutans are some of the largest tree-dwelling animals on the planet. A full-grown male can stand close to 5 feet tall and weigh between 100 and 200 pounds. Females are usually smaller, but still impressively strong. The largest one ever recorded, named Keo from Borneo, stood over 5.5 feet tall and weighed around 250 pounds. But these animals aren't just big, they're also incredibly smart. In the forests of Borneo, orangutans have been seen using sticks to fish out bugs, and even holding leaves over their heads to stay dry like tiny umbrellas. They mostly live alone, unlike chimps or gorillas that stay in groups. Mothers raise their babies by themselves, and adults spend most of their lives swinging solo from tree to tree using their long, powerful arms. And just when you thought orangutans were big, meet their ancient cousin, Gigantopithecus. This prehistoric ape lived around 1 million years ago in parts of Asia. It stood over 10 feet tall and weighed more than 1,200 pounds, basically a walking giant. Scientists believe it was the biggest ape to ever walk the earth, but sadly, it went extinct long ago. 19. Pangolin. At first glance, you might think this animal is wearing a suit of armor, but it's real, and it's called a pangolin. Pangolins are the only mammals in the world that are completely covered in tough, overlapping scales. These scales aren't just for show, they're made of keratin, the same stuff as our fingernails, and they help protect the pangolin from predators. Sometimes called scaly anteaters, pangolins use their long, sticky tongues, some stretching over 16 inches, to dig into ant hills and termite mounds. Depending on the species, they can grow anywhere from about 1 foot to over 3 feet long. They live mostly in the warm forests and grassy areas of Africa and Asia, and are usually active at night. Instead of using their eyes, they rely on a powerful sense of smell to find food in the dark. But while they look like they came out of a fantasy movie, pangolins are in serious trouble. They are the most illegally trafficked mammals in the world, hunted for their meat and their scales, which are wrongly believed to have healing powers. This shows just how incredible and vulnerable these animals are. If we want future generations to see them in the wild, they need our protection now more than ever. 18. Zeus, the Shire horse. Next up, meet a horse so big he didn't just turn heads, he broke records. This is Zeus, a Shire horse, and trust me, he was no ordinary stallion. Zeus stood more than 6.5 feet tall at the shoulder. That's taller than most people. And he weighed nearly 3,000 pounds. With a build that massive, he looked more like a walking tank than a farm animal. Shire horses are one of the largest horse breeds in the world, originally from England. They were once used for tough jobs like pulling carts, wagons, and plows, basically the heavy lifters of the old days. And Zeus was a shining example of just how powerful this breed can be. But don't let his size fool you. Zeus wasn't wild or scary. He was gentle, calm, and had a sweet personality that made him famous around the world. Many people were amazed at how well he behaved, especially since giant horses are usually harder to manage. Zeus was often compared to other legendary horses like Big Jake, the tallest horse in the world at over 9 feet, and Samson, also called Mammoth, the heaviest horse ever recorded. Even though Zeus didn't live long after making history, his legacy lives on. He showed the world just how strong, gentle, and incredible a Shire horse can be. This footage of Zeus is more than just amazing, it's unforgettable. 17. Blossom. the tallest cow ever recorded. All cows are big, but this one, she'll make you say, "Holy cow," literally. Meet Blossom, the cow who made history by breaking the Guinness World Record as the tallest cow ever. She stood an incredible 6 feet 4 inches tall. That's taller than most grown men. And if that wasn't enough, she also weighed around 2,000 pounds, almost double the size of a regular cow. Blossom didn't just turn heads, she towered over every other cow in the pasture. Imagine walking up to her and feeling like you're standing next to a small horse with horns. Despite her giant size, Blossom was known for being sweet and gentle. She lived a calm life on a farm in the United States and became a worldwide star after earning her world record. Sadly, Blossom passed away on May 26, 2015 after suffering a leg injury. But her legacy lives on as the biggest bovine beauty the world has ever seen. So tell us in the comments, have you ever seen a cow this size in real life? Or is Blossom still the queen of tall cows in your book? 16. Gorilla. Get ready because this next animal is one of the biggest and strongest land mammals on Earth. And when they're this big, they're not just powerful, they're terrifying. This gorilla, caught on camera in India, looks like something straight out of a movie. Massive, muscular, and unbelievably tall. It's estimated to be over 7 feet tall when standing upright. That's taller than most basketball players and nearly as heavy as a small car. And here's the thing, gorillas are already strong, but when they reach this size, let's just say you really don't want to get too close. With their thick arms, wide chests, and incredible grip strength, one wrong move could be dangerous. But don't get it twisted, gorillas aren't monsters. They're actually calm and intelligent creatures, living in family groups and usually keeping to themselves. In the wild, they mostly eat plants and fruit, and they only become aggressive if they feel threatened. Still, seeing one this massive up close is unforgettable. It makes you wonder just how strong are these giants, really? Now imagine this. A full-grown gorilla standing in a field facing off against 100 full-grown men. Who do you think would win that battle? Let me know in the comments. 15. Shoebill stork. Ever seen a bird that makes you think a war just broke out just from the sound it makes? That's the shoebill stork for you. With a call that sounds like gunfire, this bird doesn't just look terrifying, it sounds like chaos. Standing between 4 and 5 feet tall with a wingspan close to 8 feet, the shoebill stork looks like something straight out of the dinosaur age. Its giant shoe-shaped beak is what really makes it unforgettable. Nearly 8 inches long and built like a weapon. It uses that massive bill to snatch up fish, frogs, young crocodiles, and even small birds, then crushes them with a single snap. Shoebills are masters of the ambush. They stand still for ages, completely silent, then strike in a flash. And when they do, it's like nature's version of a jump scare. Even though they can fly, their wing beats are slow and heavy, adding to their strange, almost ancient appearance. It's no wonder people call them living fossils. But like many wild creatures, the shoebill is now in danger. Its swampy home in East Africa is shrinking due to habitat loss, and its future in the wild is far from guaranteed. So if you ever see one, whether in real life or on screen, take a moment. You're witnessing one of the most unique and eerie birds still walking this earth. 14. Aragon Vino, the Belgian bull. You've heard of bodybuilders, but have you ever seen a cow that looks like it just walked out of a gym? Meet Aragon Vino, often called the most muscular bull in the world, and once you see him, you'll understand why. Aragon is a Belgian blue, a breed of cattle that's unlike anything you've seen before. These animals are known for something called double muscling, a rare genetic mutation that causes their muscles to grow non-stop. It's like the off switch for muscle growth just doesn't exist. The result? Massive shoulders, thick backs, bulging legs, and a frame so pumped it almost doesn't look real. Aragon doesn't just walk, he struts like a living tank. This bull is so muscular you can see the definition in his body like a pro athlete. Belgian blue bulls like Aragon can weigh well over 2,000 pounds, and they have far less fat than most cattle breeds. But all that muscle comes with some problems. These animals can be more fragile than they look, and because of their size, many calves have to be delivered by C-section. Natural breeding isn't easy when you're built like a wall of muscle. Even with these challenges, Belgian Blues are still a favorite in the meat industry because they grow fast and strong. But Aragon, he's in a league of his own, a real-life beast of muscle and power. 13. The giant otter. Now here's something you don't see every day, a jaguar losing a fight to an otter. In the wild wetlands of southern Brazil, researchers captured an incredible moment. Two jaguar sisters named Madrosa and Jaju locked eyes on what looked like an easy target, a lone giant otter. But what happened next shocked everyone. Instead of fleeing, the otter stood its ground. And within seconds, its whole crew showed up. Giant otters can grow up to 6 feet long and weigh around 75 pounds. They're fast, fierce, and built for life in the water. With long, sleek bodies and webbed feet, they're amazing swimmers, and even better hunters. Local tribes call them water jaguars because of how they hunt, how they move, and how they protect their own. These otters live in tight-knit families called rafts, and when one is in danger, the others show up ready to fight. And that's exactly what happened here. Together, the otters managed to drive off 2 jaguars, one of the most feared predators in the Americas. The otters didn't just defend their home, they owned it. What started as a jaguar's hunt turned into a lesson in teamwork and courage. And at that moment, the river didn't belong to the cats, it belonged to the otters. 12. The giant rabbit. When you think of rabbits, you probably imagine something small, fluffy, and able to fit in your arms, right? Well, think again. Meet Darius, a rabbit so big he could stretch across your entire couch. This isn't your average bunny. Darius is a continental giant rabbit, and at just 1 year old, he already measured nearly 3 feet 8 inches long. That's right, a rabbit the size of a toddler. And the craziest part? Darius still isn't fully grown. His dad is even bigger, stretching over 4 feet long, and he's more than 5 years old. But Darius is catching up fast, and his caretaker believes he might outgrow his father soon. Most continental giant rabbits get pretty big, but not like this. Rabbits over 3 feet long are rare. Rabbits close to 4 feet? Almost unheard of. Still, despite his enormous size, Darius is just as gentle and adorable as any pet rabbit. He munches veggies, loves cuddles, and has become a bit of a celebrity in the rabbit world. So if you ever thought you've seen a big bunny before, Darius will definitely make you look twice. 11. Cassius, crocodile. Now imagine standing next to a crocodile that's longer than a car. Meet Cassius, the largest crocodile ever kept in captivity. This beast measures a jaw-dropping 18 feet long and weighs over 2,900 pounds. Let that sink in for a second. That's heavier than a full-size pickup truck, and almost as long too. Cassius is so big, just watching him move is enough to make your heart skip a beat. He lives in Australia, in a special enclosure built just for him, and trust me, it's not the kind of place you want to hang out in, unless you like living dangerously. One wrong move and you're by lunch. Crocodiles are already some of the most powerful reptiles on Earth, with crushing jaws and lightning-fast reflexes. But Cassius, he's on a whole different level, a living dinosaur, a legend in the reptile world. Most people will never see a croc this size in their lifetime, and honestly, that might be a good thing. Because when you're near Cassius, you realize something quickly. You're not at the top of the food chain anymore. 10. Godzilla, Caucasian Shepherd. They say dogs are man's best friend, but what if your dog was the size of a bear? Meet Godzilla, real name Zafir, a Caucasian Shepherd so massive, he looks like something out of a fantasy film. This dog isn't just big, he's nearly 10 times larger than your average house pet. Yes, you heard that right, 10 times. Caucasian Shepherds were originally bred to guard livestock in the mountains of Eastern Europe and Russia, so it makes sense. They were built for strength, size, and courage. These dogs are natural protectors, known for being bold and alert. But here's the twist. They're also incredibly loyal, loving, and gentle with the families they protect. Godzilla is the perfect example of this balance. 1 minute he's towering over full-grown adults. The next, he's calmly laying his head on someone's lap like a big furry guardian. Seeing a dog this huge in real life feels almost unreal. He's got paws the size of dinner plates, a bark that can shake windows, and a presence that makes strangers think twice. But behind all that size is a heart that's just as big, because even the fiercest giants can still be soft and sweet at their core. 9. The giant squid. What would you do if a sea monster suddenly swam right past you? That's exactly what it felt like when this giant squid showed up near the surface, a rare sight that left everyone stunned. Usually, giant squids prefer to stay hidden deep in the ocean, far below where humans can go. So when one appears near the shore, it feels like something straight out of a legend. And honestly, it kind of is. This particular squid was estimated to be about 12 feet long, and believe it or not, it was likely still young. Full-grown giant squids can get much bigger, with some believed to reach up to 40 feet or more. With its long, curling tentacles and huge eyes, it's no surprise that this creature inspired myths like the Kraken, the sea monster that sailors feared would drag entire ships underwater. And when you see one in real life, it's easy to believe those stories. Even though this squid didn't attack anything, its sudden appearance was enough to stop people in their tracks. It looked like something ancient, powerful, and mysterious. Moments like this remind us that the ocean still hides creatures we rarely get to see, and that some legends might be closer to the truth than we think. 8. Giant anteater. Out in the wild, anything can happen, and sometimes the most surprising moments are the ones where nothing happens at all. While a photographer was quietly watching a giant anteater in Brazil's vast Pantanal wetlands, something unexpected appeared in the background. A large male jaguar, creeping closer with every step. Everyone thought the big cat was about to strike, but then it just stopped and watched. Surprisingly, this isn't as rare as it sounds. According to researchers, jaguars don't usually go after anteaters. They prefer bigger meals like capybaras, caimans, or peccaries, animals that give more energy for the effort, and that's lucky for the anteater. Giant anteaters are fascinating creatures. They can grow up to 8 feet long and weigh around 140 pounds. They don't have teeth, but they do have long, sticky tongues that can slurp up thousands of ants and termites in minutes. And even though they look slow, they've got strong claws and tough skin that help them defend themselves if needed. In this rare encounter, the jaguar made a different choice, and the anteater walked away unharmed. It's a powerful reminder that even in the wild, strength isn't always about fighting sometimes. It's about knowing when not to. 7. The red kangaroo, Australia's muscle machine. Imagine standing face to face with a kangaroo that's taller than you, more ripped than a bodybuilder, and ready to throw hands. Welcome to the world of the red kangaroo, the largest and strongest marsupial on Earth. In the wild outback of Australia, red kangaroos can grow up to 6 feet tall and weigh over 200 pounds. And get this, nearly half of that weight is pure muscle. This size isn't just for show. Male kangaroos actually fight for the right to mate. They box, punch, and kick each other with powerful hind legs, kind of like UFC but with fur and a tail. The bigger and more muscular the kangaroo, the better his chances of winning and attracting a mate. Their movement is also pretty unique. Kangaroos place their front arms on the ground, then swing their back legs forward in a motion that looks like a mix between a push-up, a jump, and a squat. With every hop, they're building more strength and stamina, and when it comes to legends, none stand taller than Roger, the most famous red kangaroo in the world. Roger lived at the Kangaroo Sanctuary in Alice Springs and went viral in 2015 when a video showed him crushing a metal bucket with his bare paws. He stood 6.5 feet tall and looked like a pro wrestler in fur. With his wide chest and jacked arms, Roger was known for dominating other males and protecting his space like a true alpha. He wasn't just strong, he was unforgettable. 6. Jimbo, the gentle giant bear. Now this is one bear you'll never forget. Meet Jimbo, a legendary Kodiak bear who once lived at the Wildlife Center in Otisville, New York. He wasn't just big, he was absolutely massive. Jimbo weighed over 1,400 pounds and stood nearly 9 feet tall. That made him one of the largest bears ever kept in captivity. But despite his size, Jimbo wasn't scary. He was gentle. He had a close, heartwarming bond with his caretaker, Jim Kowalczyk, who raised him from the time he was a cub. Jim and his wife Susan run a sanctuary for rescued wildlife, helping animals, especially big ones, who can't return to the wild. And Jimbo was more than just a rescue story. He was a friend. The videos of Jim cuddling, playing, and even being scratched by Jim melted hearts around the world. It's not every day you see a bear the size of a car acting like a big, furry lapdog. Their friendship was built on trust, time, and love, proof that sometimes even the wildest creatures can feel at home when treated with kindness. Sadly, Jimbo passed away in 2018 at the age of 24. But to the millions who saw him online, he wasn't just a bear. He was a gentle giant and a true symbol of what compassion can do. 5. Zeus the dog. Now imagine walking into your kitchen and finding a dog tall enough to drink straight from the sink without even jumping. That's exactly what life was like with Zeus, the tallest dog ever recorded in Guinness World Record history. Zeus wasn't just big, he was a giant. This Great Dane stood over 7 feet tall when on his back legs and weighed around 155 pounds. That's heavier than some grown men and taller than most of them too. Zeus was so tall he didn't need a water bowl. He could simply walk up to the kitchen sink, lean in, and take a drink like it was made just for him. Despite his towering size, Zeus was known for being gentle and calm, your classic gentle giant. He became a celebrity around the world and was loved by everyone who met him. Sadly, Zeus passed away in 2014 due to old age, but his legacy still stands, literally, as one of the most unforgettable dogs the world has ever seen. When people say, "Who's a big boy?" Zeus is the answer. 4. Eurasian eagle owl, snowy owl. Can you imagine walking through a dark forest and suddenly locking eyes with a bird so big it looks like it belongs in a fantasy movie? Perched high above with glowing orange eyes and a stare that cuts right through the night. That's the Eurasian eagle owl, the largest owl in the world. This powerful bird can reach a wingspan of nearly 6.5 feet and weigh up to 10 pounds. That's bigger than some small dogs and way scarier when it's flying silently right above your head. With its thick feathers, massive claws, and intense gaze, the eagle owl is built to rule the night. It hunts mostly after dark, swooping down on rabbits, rodents, and even other birds without making a sound. Its flight is so quiet, you won't even know it's there until it's already too late. Unlike some owls, the females are usually even larger than the males, making them true queens of the sky. And with those giant ear tufts and broad wings, this bird looks like a mix between a superhero and a shadow. So if you think the one in this video might be the biggest you've ever seen, tell us in the comments. We want to know what you think, because one thing's for sure, once you've seen a Eurasian eagle owl, you won't forget it anytime soon. 3. Freshwater stingray. At first glance, it might look like a drifting shadow on the riverbed, but this is no shadow. It's one of the largest freshwater fish ever recorded on Earth. Discovered in Cambodia, this giant freshwater stingray weighed in at an unbelievable 720 pounds. That's 330 kilograms. It was so massive, it stretched over 13 feet from nose to tail. These stingrays live in the Mekong River, one of the richest and most mysterious rivers in Southeast Asia. With their wide, pancake-shaped bodies and long, whip-like tails, often tipped with venomous barbs, they look like something out of a science fiction movie. And while most stingrays are much smaller, this species is built to impress. They usually hide beneath the sand or mud at the bottom of rivers, staying out of sight. So spotting one this huge, that's rare. In fact, it's so rare that scientists say it's a good sign because animals this large only survive in healthy river systems with clean water and plenty of food. But here's the bad news. These gentle giants are in danger. Pollution, overfishing, and habitat destruction are putting their survival at risk. That's why this discovery was such a big deal. It's a powerful reminder of why protecting rivers like the Mekong really matters. So, what's the largest animal you've ever seen in real life? Drop it in the comments. We'd love to know. 2. The giant rat. 4 times the size, 10 times the shock. Okay, Picture a rat. Now make it the size of a cat, or even a small dog. Sounds like something from a horror movie, right? Well, meet this giant rat. Experts believe this oversized rodent could be a Gambian pouched rat, a species that's known for growing up to 3 feet long and weighing nearly 4 pounds. That's about 4 times bigger than the average city rat you'd find sneaking through alleys or hiding in dumpsters. And no, this isn't a trick of the camera. This thing is very real. Gambian pouched rats have strong legs, long tails, and massive cheeks they can puff out to store food. Some people actually keep them as pets, believe it or not, and they've even been trained in parts of Africa to sniff out landmines and detect tuberculosis. Smart? Absolutely. Cute? That depends on who you ask. But let's be honest, if one of these walked across your living room, would you still be calm? So here's the big question. Would you keep a giant rat like this as a house pet? Let us know in the comments below if you're brave enough to say yes. 1. The Tibetan Mastiff, the lion of the dog world. Now this isn't your average dog. In this jaw-dropping video, a massive Tibetan Mastiff is seen trying to squeeze its way out of a cage, and honestly it looks more like a lion than a pet. This giant dog weighs over 300 pounds. That's nearly the same as an NFL lineman. With its thick mane, broad chest, and powerful frame, the Tibetan Mastiff was built for protection. Originally bred in the mountains of Tibet, these dogs were used to guard villages, monasteries, and livestock from predators like wolves, leopards, and even bears. And when you look at one, it's easy to see why. They're fearless, strong, and fiercely loyal. But they're not just muscle, they're also known for being calm, intelligent, and deeply connected to their families. That said, they're not your typical house dog.